These are my kids' Hot Wheels cars. They've been playing with them a lot lately, and I thought I'd like to play.
Can I play with you guys?
No, your car's ugly.
Okay, that's enough. These cars have been well loved in my time. And I get the patina leaves a little something to be desired. But I'm an adult now. And as an adult, I get to play with things like Paint Stripper. And just like that, all of that paint goes away. Now, I'm not claiming that this is a restoration video. Basically, I found these cars lying around and they looked like junk, so I wanted to make them look cooler. They're not going to end up being rolling models anymore, and I'm not even going to re-rivet them. I know some people, after drilling them apart, drilling out the rivets, they tap them and put new screws in them. I'm not even going to go that far. I'm just going to glue them all back together because, like I said, they're never even going to roll. The wheels got ruined with the paint stripper. This glass here is all cracked from years of abuse. There's supposed to be a roof on that. I also stripped the paint off quite a few, and after a while, I realized I was just going to focus on these two. They had like the best results that out of the batch, so we're going to focus on those. So after you drill out the rivets, they come apart pretty easily, and you can kind of do whatever you want with them. I thought this looked cooler as a truck, so it's going to stay as a truck. The wheels, like I said, got ruined. That's okay. I 3D printed off some wheels, and if you want to do the same, I will have these in the description below. The scale is 1/64 scale for all Hot Wheels Matchbox die-cast cars of that size. Doesn't need a tow hook anymore. Scrape that off. And I was just kind of winging it. I think this is a great starter to the hobby. If you don't want to buy a kit, you can just kind of find these for like $1 and retransform them, or find some old ones. This is just some rubbing compound that you would use on like your car. I just sanded them down first with some really high grit sandpaper, making some axles for the new wheels so they stick out the proper fitment. And you'll see that there's kind of holes all over the base of the car, so I wanted to kind of fill that in. I'm going to fill it all with mud, but I didn't want there to be big gaping holes in it, so I just did a quick job with some styrene here and kind of filled in all the gaps. And then, like I said, I'm just going to end up gluing this back together because I don't have a drill and tap set. I use black CA glue on all these parts so it would just blend in. And here we are, just mudding everything up. And I thought this looked really good, just kind of filling all those cracks, and that's kind of what these off-road vehicles would look like after a day on the trail. And I just did that first just to get everything kind of put together, just part of the build, so I didn't have to worry about it later, because these wheels have pretty tight fitment. But those look way cooler. Again, they don't move, but I think they look cooler. Also, in one of the STL files that I got off of Thingiverse, they had a bash bar. Put that on. Some more gunk. Fill those holes. And don't worry about what color you have for any mud. We're going to paint over it anyway. I had some little pieces that I kind of broke up and moved around to make exhausts with them. Just had some fun with it. I really just, I think that was originally one of the bumpers, and I just made it look like exhaust pipes. Like I said, it's a cool way to kind of get into the hobby if you don't want to buy a kit. Of course, you have to prime everything after you stripped all the paint off, and this gives you a good base coat and kind of blends in all the different materials, the 3D prints, the gunk, all of that kind of just gets blended together. It was a lot of fun trying to figure out what color to paint these. Usually I'm painting things that are more military, so it was fun to have some different colors to choose from. Just make sure everything's coated evenly. And then we switched over to the Bronco. And I want to do something a little different with this, not just a solid color. Of course, this has an interior that you're really going to see, so I had some fun with that. And I taped off this cool pattern that I saw, modified a Bronco of the same era, so this was the paint scheme that they went with, and I thought it looked awesome, so I replicated. I think that's the most important thing, to just have fun and kind of, see what's out there. See if there's anything that kind of strikes you as cool and interesting, and do that. I just used some aluminum colored paint for all the headlights. This really changed the look of the cars a lot, putting headlights on them. Even if you just want to paint the lights on your existing die-cast cars, I think it makes a huge difference. It's really, really easy to do, and it just brings them to life. Just look up some photos of the cars in real life. Get the lights as close as you can. You'd be surprised how accurate these models are, too. And then just a few details. And then I just clear coated everything with a nice gloss. Bring back that shine. And that also is a great base for some oil paints to pull out even more details, which you might not even have known were there, especially on some of these older cars that the paint was all chipped off of. It's amazing how much detail is actually in these cars. I think both of them were made in like the 80s, and they held up really well for all the wear and tear. This is just a pin wash. I just use browns and blacks, kind of pull out these details, and you just go back through after and kind of soak some of that up so it's not so dark. Put the glass back in, painted some details on that. And like I said, I'm just gluing everything back together. It's not that big of a deal. Just fill that rivet up. And since it's a truck, I thought if it's on an off-road adventure, it needs some maybe spare wheels, some cans of fuel. Again, just 3D printed those. Those are actually for a World War II tank, but can't tell the difference when they're that small. And then just touching up that grime. Give them a little weathering. Make them look even more realistic, light coating of dust after a hard day out on the trail. And I think that's going to do it. I had an absolute blast making these this week, and now my kids are going to let me play with them. Finally. All right. Well, I hope that inspired you to go out and rummage through some old cars you have lying around, or pick up some new ones. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel, and will keep me making crazy projects like this in the future. That's going to do it. See you next time. Bye.